check these other things. We live. Waiting for the black signal to launch. I don't know what's going on. Everything's just moving so slow. I don't. Even me. But great near to each and every last one of you. I want to thank you for joining us here on Giami Journey. Of course you know, family, this is the congregation of the mighty. We believe that your hustle builds muscle. This is Giami Journey Media. That's what I'm talking about anyway. That's what I'm talking about, right? This is Hard with Simple Production. And right now, you know you are joining us on the Daily Toast. Well, we strive to blow up your old paradigm. Come on, drink your water, but first, take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Drink. Or should I say, breathe, then drink. Now, grab your glass for that water. Get your bottle of that water. Twist the cap of that water. Lift it for you. Drink. Or should I say, lift, pour, and drink. Now move your body and drink some water. Move your body and drink some water. Stretch it. Stretch your body, drink some water. Stretch your body. Drink. Or should we say, move, and drink. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Fam, just raise your glass. Drink. Or should we say, toast and drink. Now take your breath and drink some water. Lift and pour yourself some water. Move your body, drink some water. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Breathe, live, move, drink. But remember those four pillars. Breath, water, eating, move. Take your breath, live and pour, move your body, toast your ancestors. Praise with me, man. Drink. Drink. Lift your glass and drink some water. Nowhere near even finishing, man. But great near to each and every last one of you. I want to thank those that took time to join me for the show. Thank you for the comments last night, Brother Kwame. Somebody else is out there. I can't see who it is, but you know, throw your stuff up so I know who you are. Send you out some shots, you know. Last night trying to revisit us, y'all. I'm sitting up here like, good grief. All right, so now let's see what's in the news. Give me some time to drink this water just a little bit. Guess what's in the discussion? Guess what's coming up? 2020 Democrats embrace race-conscious policies, including reparations. New York Times. Let's just stop in and see what they have to say. Hold on. This might be funny. Hold on. So I already read one of the black agendas that's out there. Right? We read that. So now let's see how all of these, the new black media is storming the doors and forcing conversations. Let's look at this. Hold on. Let's look at this. Because, I mean, I know people be like, you crazy, Brother Hot Tim. It's never going to happen. From the very first day of the 2020 presidential race, this is from the New York Times, February 21st, 2019. When Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts blamed generations of discrimination for black families earning far less than white households, Democrat, see, they ain't even talking about wealth there. She talking about earning. So not only are we falling behind in the earnings, my fault, not only are we behind in wealth, but hell, we're falling behind in earnings too. Uh-oh. Nationwide. You know, I know some of y'all out there balling. But listen, Democratic hopefuls have fallen. Some of y'all out there lying. Stop it. We need to really, you know what I'm saying? We really got to be able to assess where we are. So we need some reality. We need some mayat right now. You know, mayat. We need that balance, truth, harmony, justice, right? Being able to distinguish the real from the unreal, right? I mean, that's the lesson for us in 2019. The real from the unreal, right? Drop some of your fake shit. You know what I'm saying? For black families, earnings far less than white households, Democrats hopefully have broadly emphasized racial justice and closing the wealth gap in their policy platforms. But in recent weeks, some candidates have started embracing specific goals and overtly race-conscious legislation that even the most left-wing elected officials stayed away from in recent years. I wonder why. Right? When nobody pushing them, right? When nobody holding their feet to the fire. There wasn't 1,000 conversations about it every day. But now, family, this internet, like I said, this internet is, it's a weapon, and we need to learn how to use it. And it's becoming powerful enough so that we can drive discussions. We can push discussions. We do it with the fashion. We do it with the lingo. We do it in sports. We do it in entertainment. We drive. We're able to do it. So now enough of us are getting on this thing right here called this internet, and we're busting people in the head with it, right? Last week, on the popular radio show The Breakfast Club, Senator Kamala Harris, is it Kamala or Kamala? I'm going to say Kamala. Kamala Harris of California agreed with a host of suggestions that suggestion that government reparations for black Americans were necessary to address the legacies of slavery and discrimination. Ms. Harris later affirmed that support in a statement to the New York Times. I want to see the statement to the New York Times. We have to be honest that people in this country do not start from the same place or have access to the same opportunities, she said. I'm serious about taking an approach that will change policies and structures and make real investments in the black community. See, we got to watch it when they start doing that side talk. She's talking, they start off strong, then they start swerving off and shit, you know. Go from reparations to investments. Nah. Right? Ms. Warren also said she supported reparations for black Americans impacted by slavery. Is that ADOS? Is that what? I mean, you know, that was not what it said. Reparations for black Americans impacted by slavery. A policy that experts say could cost several $1 trillion, and one that Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and many top Democrats have not supported. And they will not receive our support. We gonna make it. Listen, it's gonna be uncomfortable. This is gonna be uncomfortable in this upcoming election. It's gonna be so uncomfortable for folks. I'm just saying. I just can't wait for it to unfold. Right? Well, actually, we're building up for it. The Warren campaign declined to give further details on that backing. On their backing. Okay. The Warren campaign declined to give her further details on that backing, but it came amid her calls for the federal government to provide special home buying assistance to residents of communities that were adversely affected by redlining, the discriminatory practice of denying mortgages, usually in poor and non-white areas. She also announced a sweeping universal child care proposal that could strongly benefit minority communities that often have limited early childhood services. No! See, when you start hearing words like universal, family, listen, no. Elizabeth Warren, take 2 steps back, 4 steps back. That universal shit, no. Deal with our issues first. Family, in this coming race, and in the future for us, we have to put ourselves first. Don't come talking to us about universal shit and reparations in the same breath. You can't pay reparations if you're universally doing shit for everybody else. Pay the debt that's owed first, then you go on and get the luxuries. You get a car first before you start getting a luxury for the goddamn car. Now, we got a car payment that we have to make. Make the payment. I'm scared. I'm sorry. Y'all not get excited about this. Because we got to watch the rhetoric. Be careful with that phrase, slavery and discrimination. There we go. And Kwame is making a good point. Slavery and discrimination, right? Because discrimination is something that can affect an individual. Slavery affected a whole group, a whole class. So they start mixing those words, slavery and discrimination. So now people be like, I was discriminated against. Really? I'm quite sure you were. Right? Everybody have experienced discrimination. Everybody has not been affected by slavery. Key point. All right, let's move it. The morally driven policy of Ms. Harris and Ms. Warren reflect a broader shift in the importance of race and identity issues in the Democratic Party. According to several scholars and political leaders who focus on the intersection of race and politics, while Democrats have long cast themselves as more inclusive than the Republican Party. Grassroots organizers and many liberal voters of all races are now pushing elected officials to go further on policies of racial equality, regardless of any political calculations. But race-conscious policies could emerge as a fissure in a wide-open Democratic primary, as some moderate candidates seek to run against the party's recently leftward lurch. There are also political risks for the general election. Republicans have long attempted to paint Democrats who embrace policies that address racial inequalities as anti-white, and polling often shows reparations for black Americans remain an unpopular policy across the country. Family, our job is not to make it popular. Our job is to make it a reality. Our job is to make it a discussion. Our job is to... See, like I keep on telling you, a lot of people are more concerned about winning political races and winning rather than putting our shit on the table. Listen, sometime to win the war, you have to lose some battles. Period. You can't become a good boxer without putting in the sweat and getting your ass kicked in the gym. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to put it up there regardless so that we can see where people stand. And we can see maybe we might need to start our own party. See, because maybe that might be the next move, right? Because it's like, yo, you don't want to address our issues? Then we'll put people on the ticket and we'll take over where we can. God damn it. I'm sorry. I digress. You know what I'm saying? I digress. I'm sorry. Early in the morning, I'm chasing people way early in the morning. Like, we supposed to be pouring libations. The two leading Democrat candidates have embraced reparation, the concept that the federal government should both acknowledge the ongoing legacy of slavery and discrimination, to provide compensatory payments to those affected. Is a major shift from past presidential campaigns and a win for activists who have tried to push the issue into the mainstream for decades. Julian Castro, the former cabinet secretary who is also running for president, has also indicated that he will support reparations. Even among the 2020 Democrats who stopped short of endorsing reparations, several have laid out robust policies aimed at closing the gap in wealth between black and white families. Scholars estimate that black families in America today earn just $57.30 for every $100 in income earned by white families. According to the Census Bureau current population survey, for every $100 in white family wealth, black families hold just $5.04. Senator Cory Booker baby bonds, that's not his, he bought that. Policy aims to help poor children by giving them a government-funded savings account that could total up to $50,000. See, this is what we get. This is where we get to the part, family. Listen, I want you to see the subtle shift now. We're moving into the shift, right? Like Kwame said, be looking out for the words discrimination and slavery when they mix it up, right? Also, be looking for when we start making the shift to universal shit. It's getting uncomfortable for me, so let me go drink some water. Water in the morning helps get you ready for the fuckery that's going to be coming your way. Senator Cory Booker baby bonds policy aims to help poor children by giving them a government-funded saving account that could total up to $50,000 for the lowest income brackets. The plan has been praised by liberal scholars who think it could go a long way in helping lower-income Americans begin to build wealth. And Senator, Kirsten Gillibrand has endorsed a proposal to allow Americans without checking accounts to bank at local post office. A disproportionate percentage of Americans' unbanked population are people of color. See, you see how we move? We move to baby bonds for everybody in the lower income bracket, and we move to the banking, and that don't have nothing to do. Black first, family. Say my name, right? Don't be shy. We not people of color, we black folks, right? So, in all the articles in the future, I need for y'all to leave all that universal shit out. Let's talk about what's going on with the black piece. Let's just get to it. We've been pussyfooting around it for the last 50 years. You know what I'm saying? It's done. Where we at? As Martin Luther King said, we coming for our check. Right? Maria Urbina, National Policy Director for the progressive group Indivisible, said that after years of being pushed by activists, the Democratic Party was getting closer to applying its liberal values to racial equality. Policies like reparations or baby bonds. Now, ain't no or, goddammit. We got to be clear about this, family. In the way we address it, in the way that we deal with it, no ors. Ain't no ors. No. All right? Policies like reparations that seek to close the racial wealth gap, she said, should be viewed similarly to idealistic programs that have been embraced by Democrats seeking the presidential nomination, including the Green New Deal and Medicare for All. No Medicare for all, no Green New Deal. Deal with our issue first. Us first. I'm young. Fam, we got to get that. So let me go on because I got to do this toast. We want folks who are being ambitious, not just working within the margins and the contours of what we had before, but sort of reimagining things in our own terms and being really aspirational, Ms. Urbina said. There's a point in black Americans making a collective decision to treat a candidate attitude towards reparation as a litmus test for supporting them. Dr. Darity said, now this is the guy that came up with the whole idea, I think with the baby bonds and stuff. This is a leading black economist that has been studying the racial wealth gap and the effects of slavery on us economically. See, we're not fucking around out here. People been working on this for years, you know what I mean, and the outside, in academia and in the streets. Dr. Darity said, I think if folks had paid closer attention to the fact that Barack Obama was against reparations, they would have not been as disappointed by his presidency, because they would have had more realistic expectations about what he was likely to do. Let me read that again. Dr. Darity said, I think if folks had paid closer attention to the fact that Barack Obama was against reparation, they would have not been as disappointed by his presidency, because they would have had more realistic expectations about what he was likely to do. And I think a lot of us knew that. A lot of us knew, what we was going to get, right? So here we go. Mr. Sanders, the Vermont leftist, whose rhetoric of political revolution won him throngs of supporters in the last Democratic primary and disrupted the party establishment, dismissed the idea of reparations. And we're going to dismiss your old ass too. You better change your tone, Bernie. You better change your tone. Send them a message, family. You know what I'm saying? Send them a message. Those that want Bernie, run Bernie. You ain't running Bernie. You come with that non-reparation shit, you know what I'm saying, and all this universal free shit for everybody. Nah, Bernie, we ain't doing that shit there. We ain't doing that shit in 2020. All right. Dismissed the idea of reparation as political unpalatable in January 2016. Reparations is politically unpalatable. Now, let's be specific. Reparations for black people was unpalatable. Isn't that right, Mr. Sanders? You know what I mean. Some of y'all know what I mean, all right? Reparations for black people was unpalatable. And we got to be clear about that. And we got to ask those questions. Upsetting some racial justice activists who found his answer hypocritical. Mrs. Clinton, who beat Mr. Sanders for the 26th nomination, also declined to support reparations. And we're declining to support you. I don't care how nice your pantsuits are. I really don't. I really don't. Mr. Obama, the country's first black president, was seen in some political quarters as reticent about prioritizing the interests of black voters, and he called the idea of reparation impractical in 2016. But that's the job of politicians, to make the impractical practical for their constituents. But because we wasn't his constituents, I don't know. All right, here we go. I'm not so optimistic as to think that we would ever be able to garner a majority of American Congress that would make those kinds of investments above and beyond the kinds of investments that could be made in a progressive program for lifting up all people, Mr. Obama said. I'm gonna read Obama's. I'm gonna read this shit again. I want y'all to listen to this. I'm not so optimistic as to think that you would ever be able to garner a majority of American Congress that would make those kinds of investments above and beyond the kind of investment that could be made in progressive programs for lifting up the people, up all people, said Mr. Obama. Now, but when he wanted to push Medicaid or whatever for everybody, he pushed it. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that people were asking him, people that voted for him, was asking was, could as president, can you take the step? Because a lot of times, family, this is what I'm saying. When they're not willing to take that step for you, there's an issue, right? We got to demand that our politicians take the step. It ain't about whether you win or not. You know what I'm saying? Could you put the policy up there? Especially when you was a lame duck president. That made no sense to me. That was the time to make major moves. They was already telling you no on every goddamn thing, so you might as well be like shit. The way they was treating you, right? The way they was treating Obama, nobody would have been surprised if you would have threw something up there about reparation just to start the goddamn conversation. It wasn't like you wasn't gonna get hired again or some shit like that. Come on, man. As Ms. Warren and Ms. Harris seek to lead the party into a new era, their support for the policy, which did not come with specifics, signals just how quickly prominent Democrats have expanded their political imagination after decades of dominance by the Clintons and Mr. Obama. Ms. Warren, in particular, has attempted to stake out more aggressive policies to push other Democrats in the race. Her proposal for universal child care, will make the service free to any family earning up to double the federal poverty level and will increase wages for child care workers. Two initiatives that could particularly affect Black and Latino communities where informal child care arrangements are more common. Once again, listen, I think they call that collusion or some shit. What they call that, Kwame? I think they call that shit collusion, where they just keep throwing shit back in. We must confront the dark history. That must be a pun or something. We must confront the dark history of slavery and government-sanctioned discrimination in this country that has had many consequences, including undermining the ability of Black families to build wealth in America for generations, Ms. Warren told the Times. We need systematic structural changes to address that. Another sign of the party shift on race, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the New York Democrat whose bold policy ideas and devoted national following have upended Capitol Hill, also voiced her support for reparation earlier this month. We got to watch this. Until America tells the truth about itself, we're not going to heal, Ms. Ocasio-Cortez said at the forum with Ta-Nehisi Coates. She also said some other shit, too. The writer who landmarked 2014 article, The Case for Reparations, that's Ta-Nehisi Coates' article, helped thrust the issue back into the American consciousness. Other Democrats 2020 candidates included Mr. Cory Booker, Mr. Booker, Ms. Gillibrand, and Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota either did not respond to requests for comments or stopped short of an endorsement of reparation. Instead, several laid out politics that, though not intended as a redress for slavery, will benefit black Americans. Talk to us. Miss us with family. Y'all already know where we at. Mr. Booker is running for president to reignite our sense of common purpose to build a more fair and just nation. That means enacting policies that atone for this nation's history of intentionally discriminatory public policy towards African Americans, said Michael Tyler, a spokesman for his campaign. You cannot address the systematic racism unique to this country without proposing race-conscious solutions. So just say you support reparations then, homie. I mean, that was a long way around. Just you ain't going to catch us with all the word games no more. You know what I'm saying? My generation is older now. You know what I'm saying? We stopped smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? We like, what the fuck happened? You know what I'm saying? Come on now. You gonna miss. We went to school too. And those was extra words that you would put in to try to get your motherfucking your report done. You know what I'm saying? You messing with the wrong generation here. I'm the old man now, not my grandfather. Derek Hamilton, a professor at Ohio State University who has worked for Dr. Darity on research regarding inequality, said Mr. Booker's baby bond plan could substantially transform wealth building measures for poor Americans and minorities and could help minorities grow assets. There we go, collusion. Throwing everybody in. Boom. No. That's all I got to say to that shit. No. Yeah. Almost done, family. Only one 2020 candidate has laid out reparation plan with specifics. Marianne Williamson, the best-selling author and self-described spiritual teacher. Since the start of her long shot campaign, Ms. Williamson has called for 100 Ms. Williamson has called for 100 Ms. Williamson has called for $100 billion in reparation for black Americans, far more than any other Democrat, but substantially less than what scholars have said would be necessary. Paltry, Dr. Darity said of Ms. Williamson's plan. Paltry. All right, so here we go, fam. We about to go and do our libations. I want to thank y'all. Let me see if anybody's still here. I probably chased everybody away with all this. Okay. Derek is an Oberlin grad. Okay. No, man, we smoke skunk, so we hype. You keep on posting your stuff up twice, Kwame. But we about to do this toast, family. I ain't mean to hold y'all up. I just wanted to get that out because I want people to understand that this whole reparations piece, it's a lot bigger. It's getting bigger and growing faster than a lot of people expected. I know I got to iron my clears clothes, so I'm going to get on up. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Last night we had a great show. Didn't have a lot of call-ins, but it was cool. Brother Shaka called in and joined us. You know what I'm saying? Remember, we have the mall coming up, the G&J Mall popping off on 2/23. That's tomorrow from 12 to 6 p.m. I am so excited. We're going to have vendors. Family, we're going to have food vendors. We got all types of vendors. Like and share the flyer. You know what I'm saying? Let us know you coming by clicking the like on our page and letting people know. And when y'all come, bring your phone and check in. Let the family know that you're there. I'm going to be broadcasting from there tomorrow, I think. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all get ready. Man, them 50 ounces, boy. Got a little bit more tea from yesterday. Look at how that pour. I think that got something, because that didn't start doing that like that until I started adding that gunpowder. Alright. Smell like peaches. Hey, peaches. Alright. We lift up our glass. We toast the creator, by whatever name you choose to call the creator. We lift up our glass and we say, Ashe. I'm sorry, Amazon made a tenth of $100 billion in last year and paid no taxes on it. Not a goddamn dime. Not a dime. But she tried. You know what I'm saying? She's not really a politician. She's a spiritual teacher, Mae Williamson. And, but at least she threw a figure up. Now, boom. So we got discussion. We got room for discussion, possibly. Right? Better than everybody else trying to do this collusion shit and trying to mix our shit up with everything else. That's part of the problem. People don't respect who we are, what we have brought to this country. You know what I'm saying? And they want to put everybody on the same level. When it's not like that. It's not like that, and everybody know it's not like that, and people start getting uncomfortable because they're like, because they used to us being the sacrifice. They used to us willing to put our arms out on the cross of the world and say, you know what I'm saying? No, we ain't doing that shit no more. We ain't doing that shit no more. I'm not, no, we can't do that shit no more. We can't afford it no more. Right? Our moral capital, our moral bank account is overdrawn, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Can't keep on doing that shit. All right, here we go. Miles Brown, Mazan, Robert the Texan. Calling on our ancestors. Miles Brown, Mazan, Robert the Texan, Davis, Herman Brown, Sr., Rosalie Tilly, Georgia, William, Walter, Christopher, and Gasson. Eileen, Uncle Chris, Aunt Fiend, Cleveland, Jenny Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvaro Brown, Jenny Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis, Judy, Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Falara, Montague Pittman, now. Normal X, Pet Mile, Rob Malika Fakua, Dr. Marianne Williams, Kojo Kamal, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusuf Weston, Elder Ageni, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Nelson, Afro for Hector Jr., J. Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling, Lucy Wright, Derek L. Pulley, and the Lester brother, Miss Eda Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kel Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Trigg, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Anna Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Windham, Virginia Rogers, Reverend J. Smith, Lois Henderson, Calvin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Carol Dean Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Dale Hodge Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Weller, Vita Farmer, Gosu Sue, Shell Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Deolis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Edgar Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, May Elizabeth Rogers, May Esther Keechler Reese. This is why we're going to get this is why we're going to get reparations, family. What we doing right here. This how it's happening, this why it's happening. Because while a lot of people depending on one vote, we work in multiple angles. Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow, Slimmy, Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mildred Owens, Booker T. Bowden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hilda Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavina Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mae Moss, Sophia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kenty, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey. Shouts out to Mr. Navina Nelson. I see you. Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quills, Urania Thornton, Bernie Squills, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.C. Johnson, Dorita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W.S. Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Human World, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Betsy Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martinez, Amateur Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Thelma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey Ellen Ohio, Frank Russell and Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Mina Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brandon Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy, Tamiko Russell, Delamont Ayers, Jean and Ruth Jones, Jana Callahan, William Walter West, Nigel Perez, Elder Basiji Fulani, Jim Robinson, Gladys Johnson, Valerie Clark, John and Mary Sullivan, Dirk Johnson, Antonio Johnson, Delise Waters, DeFridas Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scantleberry, Wilson Headley, Emma Hines, Phyllis Lee, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Charles Wooden, Pitty Brown, Roy Lee, Pritt Jr., Miriam Johnson, Wilbur Longmire, Ether Catney, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Pina Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Dorothy R. Blair, Ransom Evans Sr., Sam Evans Sr., Naylon Blair Sr., Edward Stevens, Sue Ann Stevens, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Jennifer Sensenbaugh, Hazel Gaston, Jerry Bradley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaniko Parsons, Jason Cathy Bradford, Thomas Bradley, also known as Uncle Buki, also known as Gypsy, Reverend Roosevelt Word the First, Stacy Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Irvin, Judy Hubbard, Irene Johnson, Francis Booth Jefferson, Dan Wilkinson Sr., Emma McClendon, Jerry Doyle, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Teray, Greg G2 Gibson, Donna Hill, Richard Gleavis, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Boy Irby, Jim Gaucher, George and Hallie Johnson, Archie and Margaret Armstead, Diane Scott, Erica Armstrong, Claire Fox, Gene Evans, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Christine Cottrell, Aunt Becca, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, Gwendolyn and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Harriet Tubman Cates, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Eno Baby, Hatch Sr., Mally Miller, Housie Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alex Nixon, John Bowie, Lester and Rachel Saunders, Dorita Ross, Riola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Neely Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Manny and Charlie Scott, Ida Casey, Thomas Coper, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Francis, Trapel Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford, Dawson, Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Hairston, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Leroy Q. Heath Sr., Albert Moore, Miss Manella, Alice Molly, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Erleton Houston, Lud Alls, Elijah Alls, Jerome Alls, Henry West Staten, Joe Jamel Alls, Ann Pierce, Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Beth Bond, John Dewey, Ruth Beard, Tim Butler, Remy Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., Baba Naeem, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Sanders, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Charles Walker Sr., Charlie Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Urban, Haroon Phillips, William Ford, Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Irvin Sr., Michael Irvin, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Caldwell Sr., Robbie Lee Caldwell, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rashawn Easley, Javea McCormick, Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Shechem Aha Reed Jr., John Reed Jr., Patricia Reed, Edward R. Benson Sr., Ethel H. McNair, Lois Fernandez, Jacqueline Broadus, Reginald Oliver, Mazarine Coper, George Swan, Emania Grayson, Charles Scott, Charles H. Scott, Michael Morgan, Charlene Morgan, Sybil Edwards McNabb, Annie Ferguson, William Ferguson, Shelby McClendon. Good morning, Miss Marsha Marsh. How you doing? Oh, okay. It's one of those type of mornings. It's real life here, Giami Journey. Joella Giles, James Carswell, Liberta Adams, also known as Aunt Sis, Elder Shaka McNair, Anthony Brown, Jonathan Ford, Lottie Gaucher, Cousin Tony, Michael Johnson, James Jimmy Johnson, Barbara Shang Lewis, Ronald Shelton Jr., Damian Top, Westina Banks, Joseph Bingham, Quincy, Mama, Aunt Lady, Abraham, Isaac Cundiff, Aunt Barbara Lewis, Renee Johnson, Joey, Ryan Ross Riggins, Jamonte, Marcus Price, Ness Words, Marshawn McKerrow, Demetrius Beard, Herb Jefferson, Ralph Mickens, Eric Walker, Quasi Sample, Candace Simmons, Severin Clayton, Leonard Jones, Melvin Scott Sr., Elder Clarence Lumpkin. We lift up our glass to all of our ancestors, and you can add your ancestors to the toast as well. You can simply text G&J to 25456. 25456. G&J, they get you on the black signal, and then you'll be able to send us text, or you go directly to our site. I want y'all to think about that. Go and like us on Facebook and inbox us, and add your ancestors to the list. We lift up our glass to our ancestors. We say Ashe. From their family, we toast the present moment in which all our power lies. And real quick, in a moment, we are on Nia. One love to you as well, Brother Kwame. We are Nia, which is purpose. The mighty principle is balance. The color is yellow, as you see with the shirt. Rhythm is the Hermetic law. Male name is Kofi. Female is a fool. What's up, a fool? How you doing? All right. We lift up our glass to the present moment, because in the moment we are living a pact from our ancestors. We are the connection from our ancestors to our future generations, family. What are you doing? Hope you are a strong link, right? I hope you are laying a strong foundation for your future children to stand upon. So we lift up our glass to salute this moment and call all of our energy, all our focus in this moment, so we get done what we need to get done. We lift up our glass and we say Ashe. From there, family, where do we go? From there, where do we go? From there, we move to our future, our children's children, onto infinity, and we say Ashe. From there, family, we move to all of our relations, and we say Ashe. From there, that's that selfish libation, that selfish toast. What is it that you need right here, right now, in this moment? Go and get it while we got all this energy in this room, right? Mines are slowly coming, right? I'm just doing a penny a day, doing a thought a day, and I could see it just rolling and snowballing, right? We lift up our glass and we say Ashe. From there, family, last but not least, I want to toast the most magnificent, most marvelous, most spectacular, most beautiful, most uplifting, the strongest individual in the room, and I'm talking to you. You. Don't look away. Don't look away. No, don't be shy. Don't hide your face. I'm talking to you. Right? I'm lifting up my glass to you, and I toast you, and I say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Family, we wish you peace, power, joy,
in 100 years.
And 100 years. Y'all heard it from the baby's mouth. All right, we out.